Hello everyone, Krydex here, and welcome back! Back to what, you ask? pYanodon's Season 3, don't you know? It's only the best season around, of my seasons at least. Yeah, so I am working on Niobium power poles and other Niobium accessories. And I'm gonna grab some more combinators here. I want to automate the selector combinators, which might be a bit unfortunate, because that needs deciders, circuits, and solder. And deciders are here. So what I might do... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to hit Control X. What I might do is the... How did a nichrome... Oh, never mind. I know. The inserter didn't have anything to place on, so it places it on the floor. Alright, and we're gonna put the decider here. Or the selector, I should say. And then we can feed like that, and like that. And then that should work, I think. Put the right kind of wood in there. Definitely limit that to like... Why is that not working? Oh, I go this way. There we go. Limit it to like 6. I don't need many, but I do need some. All right. And then I might bump up the circuit amount by just a smidgen. Maybe 15. Circling around the drain there. And that should work. Throw a few more Logibots in, and how many Conbots do we have? We have 101. I like that. Let's go to 110. And then I'll keep 50 for my own personal sake. I can only use 40 anyway. I need one more Roboport. Personal Roboport. Then I can use 50, which is great. That's pretty much enough for all of my personal needs. There might be a couple times where it's not, but that way usually my bots will get used instead of the network of construction. And we're just gonna refill all the stuff here. So one thing I've noticed is the mall is becoming more and more annoying to me. So at some point we're gonna rebuild it. I don't think that's gonna be right now. Might still be quite a few hours away from now, but it's coming someday. Someday TM. We shall... Okay, I think I have enough small parts, actually. Engines. And finally, medium poles. Okay. And then intermetallics. Cool, cool, cool. And then iron we're always out of course. Make sure we got all these other things. Iron, boom, boom, boom. Sweet. Oh yeah, and then the other thing I want to automate is the Niobium undergrounds. It'll be super nice. Super nice. Now what did I'm trying to remember. Oh, we were gonna make concrete, that's what it was. So we need stone and coke, I think, right? Let me do this the right way. EF concrete. So we need stone for those two, water and lime, which is just coke and water. Yeah. Okay. Well, coke and water and a soil extractor, I should say. So we need soil extractor times 1 for the limestone. We need jaw crusher times 2. We need... I think that's it, actually. Okay. Oh, we need the high pressure furnace. Okay. And then all that's gonna go somewhere near-ish to here. to send limes or concrete over. And then where are we gonna put that? I'm not really sure. Maybe over here. We might need to make a little nodule. That we can extend. Yeah, there we go. I do kind of want to put in a mixer at this point because it's getting so big. But I don't think we want a mixer. It's just hard because I'm loading everything in the same spot, so it's going to result in kind of waves. But that's okay. Alright, so we'll just make some concrete here. It's just a double jaw crusher. Inserted into one of these guys on concrete. Oh, wait. No. Sorry. It has to be more like this. Because it needs both the gravel and the sand. So we need that, and then we need like a long inserter. But then we also need an inserter of each type going into there. And then stone goes in there. And then limestone. So then we have another long inserter on a high pressure furnace. And that bad boy's doing limes of coke. You don't have to laugh, don't worry. You're only contractually obligated to laugh if it's funny, so you're off the hook for that one. Alright, let me connect that. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. And that loads that in. We're gonna exhaust pipe on that, craft a few more exhaust pipes. And then that handles limestone. We just need coke in there and stone in there. It's so weird that coke and stone makes concrete with a few extra steps thrown in, but that is truly all that's going on here. I feel like just to be space efficient, this should go in this corner. I'm gonna craft a few pump jacks. And then that way we can do this. Power up everything. Throw a lamp in here. And then we just need stone, which is up here. And then coke, which is right here. So then we'll do that. Put this. That. That. All right. And then we get coke in and stone in. And that should do it. By Jove. Wait, that power pole's not connected. That could have been bad. That is bad. Maybe. We seem to be fine now. Okay, right. Fueling this. Shoot. Man, I had it all figured out, and then I didn't. I could... If automated factories weren't so big, I think it was a mistake making these 7x7. I think 5x5 would have been a much more fair size for a basic factory. Given that they're not any faster and their only advantage now is being electric, I feel like they should have made them a little smaller. Because now I have to slide everything over by 4 units just to fit it in, and then it won't even fit in properly anymore. So I actually don't think I want to do that. I think I just want to use coke, and then the ash will build up, I guess. Don't love that. So instead, I'll just bring down wood. Which is funny because wood and stone were on the same belt, and I could have just kept them on the same belt originally. Alright, everything's hooked up. Concrete's running. If concrete's running, you better go catch it. Alright, alright. Cool down, Dad. And then we will hook up. I need belt immunity equipment so bad. Belt immunity. Oh, it's not till Pi 2. It's so far away. I could already craft it too. I just need the science. Oh, man. Alright. Boom, boom. What are these bots doing? Oh, weird. Okay, and then we want it to go just up and around somewhere. I don't know if I want it... I don't know if I want it on the loop, because nothing else needs it. So it feels a bit wasteful to have it on the loopy. So I think we're gonna do big power poles right here. I believe tinned cable is on. Maybe not. Wow, hey, Krydax blind, yo. I already put this right here. Blind and forgetful. Okay. Let me take another sip of that coffee real quick. Jeez. Okay. So we just need to bring concrete up, like, right here. Okay. Just kidding. Not over here. Now, we haven't seen our first concrete yet, which tells me I probably did something wrong, because I think we should have had it by now. I think we should have had it by now. I also could have just used logistics bots for this. I did consider it, but I decided... Oh, right, I didn't redo the water. Oh, and this doesn't have power. Alright, couple problems here. So that needs to be one of those. This needs to be extended, and then that needs to be... Okay, yeah, I deconstructed those and then needed to reconstruct them. Okay, that should get things running. Cool. Concrete. It's kind of a nice little compact make some concrete situation. What? Did I do Alt-D for that? I swear I did Control-C. I mean, rewind the tapes and tell me I'm an idiot, because I probably did do Alt-D just to get a look at it. That's not what I meant to do. That's funny. Oh man, I really need more coffee apparently. It's just one of those days. Okay, so revamp train blueprints with big poles, create tracing state. I did do that. Get rid of sodium hydroxide. I need to do that soon, don't I? Because isn't... Or... No, I set up trashing of it already. Just for now. But I do still want to do that on the train network. Officially. Has this gotten some stone yet? It has! Look, it's happening! We're trashing things. And we even got some sand in there. Oh no, never mind. That's just crushed stone. Look at that. You know, now that I'm looking at this, I'm wondering if this doesn't really make any sense. I think we need to do something like this. Input priority, right. Okay. And that is in the bot range, so they'll figure that out eventually. Cool. And any minute now we should see our first big electric pole, which is very exciting. Oh, we already got it. Oh, yes. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, it's so beautiful. Look at this. Look at how far it can go. All right. And then we'll limit you to, I don't know, 100 of them. Sounds about right for now. Okay, next thing I think I want to do is revamp these bad boys with niobium. So, they're all the same recipes, just with the niobium pipe couplers and the niobium underground segments. Which, the only difference there is we add a niobium plate to the coupler and we add a niobium plate to the underground. So it's just these two that need to change. And thankfully they're on the same belt. So this is gonna be not that hard to revamp. And we're just gonna need to bring niobium over here, but this is very doable without rebuilding the whole thing. So let's do these over here. I need more assembling machines. And then we'll do something like this, and then these will be the niobium ones. Pipe coupler and underground pipe segment. And then we do that. And then we do longies. And then we do a power pole. Okay, and now we just need niobium over here. And then that goes there, and that goes there. Alright, where niobium at? Over here. So do we reverse belt it? I think we do. I don't think I want logistic spots for this. Oh, we'll belt it over by the nichrome here. And then I think I'll bring it over right here. Alright, and then that's niobium. How do we get it into the buildings is the next question. Long inserters? Seems good to me. There we go. And then I will hoover up all these. And that's done. Okay, and then we switch all these over to I's, L's, T's, 1 to 2's, and 1 to 1's. And then we change all you guys to those, and then we remove the chest limits, and then we put logistic limits. Speaking of, I don't know if we actually have roboports here. It actually looks like we do. So we're okay. Alright, and then we'll make that 150. We'll make that 100. 50 T-junctions. No, we'll do a minimum of 100 of everything at this point in the game. And these need 150 because those sometimes get built in mass. And that's it. It's gonna take a while, These should be fast inserters, or well, not fast inserters, but you know, electric inserters. Oh, and we need wood for the niobium assemblers. Otherwise they're gonna run out of well. And that should do it. Let's see if I can get rid of some of the old junk. Might as well not waste the iron. And then pipe couplers go here. And then at that point, I don't need anything else. 1-to-1s. You know what? I'll just keep these for now. It's gonna take a while for this to saturate. Probably like a few hours. So I'm gonna wait on that. But that's done. That was not on my list? Oh no. Make niobium underground AFH pipes. Oh look! We checked it off the list. Woohoo! Alright. Feeling good about that. Now, what's next? What else does niobium go in? Well, there's the actual niobium pipes. And those are an ingredient for a lot of buildings, but I don't actually need them unless I just want them to look cool. Like, I don't need them instead of regular pipes. So there's not too much of a point for them. But niobium plates are used in... that's pretty much it. Iron niobium alloy is the only other thing, and that's needed for fast inserters. Oh, okay. Maybe we should do that. So iron niobium alloy is just literally iron and niobium. It is that simple. Later on we get a molten version, but not now. So that can get a spot in the smelter lineup. I bet I need ceramic for that. You know what? This is a great spot to store up a little ceramic. I'm just gonna say. Just gonna say that right now. You make iron niobium. You know what? If I have some, this would be a great first time to use niobium underground extenders with infinite range. Okay, it's not infinite, but watch this. Watch this. Boom. And it can go all the way to here. Oh, that's beautiful. Alright, smelter. And, oh, we also have tin chromium alloy. And then we need to switch to molten duralumin at some point. Yeah. For now, this is fine. And then what belt is the iron on? This one. Seems to stop here. I really should have belted the metals underneath the buildings. That would have been a smart idea. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Alright. Bring niobium over here. And then I think that one I'm gonna put on the belt with nichrome. So that's gonna go with nichrome. And then this, what's happening here? Definitely screwed something up here. But yeah, we'll do nichrome left. And you are actually nichrome. Don't worry, I checked that. Don't worry, I looked. So then that's that belt. But then this is niobium going that way. And then that means we'll have iron niobium alloy here. Okay, now fast inserters, for what it's worth, require a whole lot of random crap. Vitraloy, simple circuits, belts, small parts, 3 iron niobium alloy. Okay. So I definitely need access to the loop here. And it looks like I'm making belts on site rather than putting them back on the thing, but maybe we should have just done that. And then stack inserters, which I'm about to unlock, require 3 fast inserters, a lot more iron niobium alloy. I mean, that's just expensive. That's 19 iron niobium alloy, each of which is 15 iron. Plus 309 iron, broken down in the other costs. 23 circuits. I mean, those things are kind of nuts, but in the places where I want them, they're going to be really nice. So I do want those to be automated. I also need lubricant, which I forget how we're going to... Oh, I don't even have it unlocked yet. So this is the only way we can make it at first. Is olefins and oleochemicals, neither of which I have. Alright, we'll queue that up. So olefins, we've got a couple options. We've got the Nexalit route, which is kind of expensive because it's Nexalit but cheap in the other ingredients. And then we've got the nichrome and syngas route. Is expensive in chromium and nickel. Makes a bunch of steam. Olefins is more of a byproduct there. And then we kind of have the same idea. Refined syngas with light oil then makes petroleum gas. Which we have no use for yet. Okay. Yeah, maybe we'll chill on fast and stack inserters for a minute. Alright, let's work on revamping our train blueprinterinos. Yeah, this is actually gonna be harder than I thought. I mean, do I even need to? How important is this? How important is it to use big power poles? Like, it doesn't feel that important. It'll be nice, and then we can use big power poles to extend from... Yeah, fine. Okay, the only problem is I can't because of the lamp, so the lamp's gonna have to move, I think. And then we're gonna have to double check, you know, build how it gets built. We're gonna have to do a few things here, but We'll put the lamps in the same relative position. I guess this should be like that. And then the radar doesn't work nicely with things. So guess I'll just do that. Wait, am I building? Yeah, I'm building the poles next to the rails. So there. Okay. Alright, and then we want that one, and then we want this one. It is unfortunate, they're just a little too far. Could maybe do it that way. Okay, and the construction zone there covers the robo ports and the power poles that connect to them. And that one does the same. This one does not. Dang. What does that mean? It means I need to move this RoboPort one over. Right? I think so, and then that should be okay, because now that covers that power pole. And therefore that should connect. Okay. And then this monstrosity is in the middle, which I just, ugh. It's not symmetrical. I don't like it. But I don't know what else to do, so I won't do anything else. So then that one gets built, and that builds this one, and then this one cannot reach the next one behind it. Right, that's because we need to delete all this and then reflect it. We do that, rotate, rotate. And that front RoboPort is lined up with the signal there, like that. So now we should see the distance here is a nice even number. And then this one is 7 tiles, including the signal. Okay. So that seems symmetrical. Quick RoboPort check. That one can build the power to the next one and the next one. This one in both directions. Why is it doing that? These don't have power. Stop showing me the whole network. It's so annoying. That's so weird. Sometimes they show me and sometimes they don't. Anyway, this one can definitely build the power to the next of both. And then this one can obviously build the next one. Wait, what? What did I do here? Oh, no, that's right. Yeah. Okay. And And it rotates just fine, minus the stupid radar in the middle. Maybe I should have used 2 radars and just said screw it to make it rotationally symmetric, but it just didn't feel worth it. Okay, so that is good to go. So we should be able to go. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a new straight connector, create copy, 3-way junction, create copy, 4-way junction, create copy. And then I'm gonna do a new book. Old stuff. And then we're gonna put those in the old stuff category. But the problem is, aren't they gonna show up then when I scroll through blueprints again? I don't want that. So I might have to put the old stuff book in not in this book. Because I'm pretty sure if I pull up the book, it'll go into the old stuff. Yeah, it goes into the old stuff book as part of it. So we don't want that, so we need to take the old stuff out of py3 trains. Okay, so now I can redo these blueprints. Bada bing, bada boom. Hopefully still aligned correctly. And now, so this RoboPort that's on that corner is still aligned with this one, I think. Yes. The lamp is on the other side though. And now there's a big pole. Okay, so the lamp is on the other side and now there's a big pole here. And a lamp here. So that's the new situation. So then the RoboPort doesn't move. But now we've got this. That. Made one section we didn't need. And now, of course, they can't all connect in the middle with one. That would be too convenient. You know, I probably need to do this with the 4-way. Where is my 4-way intersection? Do I not have one just chilling around here somewhere? Looks like I don't. We can fix that. But yeah, I need to see in the 4-way version kind of how this looks. So what we'll do is we'll do a decon planner. Oh, apparently I do like to have, I was just looking for the button down here. Apparently I don't do Alt D to make a planner to filter. That's really interesting. Because I do use Alt D when I actually use a deconstruction planner, but apparently I don't use it when I'm just trying to make a filtered one. It's weird how muscle memory and strangenesses work. Okay, so we do these. Boom, 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 boom. And then I mean, it's weird. I could do a very non-symmetrical thing and just use 2 of them, but I don't think I want that. The problem is I cannot symmetrically fit the big power poles in here because of the radar. So what we're gonna have to do is something like this, where they go next to that chain signal. And then we're gonna have to clean up the connections. Which unfortunately are probably going to be wrong when they get built by bots. Because I don't mind these all being attached to each other. That kind of looks cool. That does look cool when they're nicely arranged like that. And then we're gonna need one medium power pole in the center, next to the radar. Different rotations will end up potentially putting the medium power pole in a different spot. That one would never work. This one would never work. Yeah. So it's possible if I were to place it over, I'd get 2 medium poles, but that's not the worst problem ever. And that all works great and everything's in the right spots. So 4-way junction, create new contents, save blueprint. And yeah, I was worried that it wouldn't be aligned right because the big power poles and the lamp stick out 1 more unit than they used to. So I had to rearrange that. And then over here, we want to do the same thing. So we're going to copy this, but we're going to delete out everything but the big poles. Oh, and the signals apparently. I need to get rid of the signals. Okay, so then this is what we want. And then I just don't need this stuff up here. Perfect. I think. Okay. And then that's our new 3-way junction. Bada bing, bada boom. And then we need to test its alignment. Yep, it's off by 1. Everything's aligned rotationally. And this should just mesh perfectly with this one. No red except for the radar in the middle. Perfect. Sweet. Okay, and then the last thing is the Station 2 Basic, because it includes some of the straight rail section. So that's kind of the messy part here. So if we look at our straight rail, yeah, we've even moved the RoboPort a little bit. Okay, so let me go up here and we'll try to do some triage. So this is the new situation on the signal up here. So it goes like this. So that part lines up. And then on the left, power pole wise, I don't know what we've got. On the left, we've got this. So I don't need another power pole. On the right, though, I think we do need another power pole. Yeah, we need these power poles. But do I? I don't think I do, because if the trains are coming from this side, we've already built the straight section, which then lines into this one and will power it from the right side because we have this pole right here. So the only time I would need the depot version to have a power pole is when we're connecting to the left, which this will. So we're already good then. I don't need anything more. And then this can just go here, and I can do a lamp there. Okay, and then these stations should probably be updated to my newest and greatest situations. So I don't know when the last time I updated this was. So let's do the basic request station. Generally, you request more things than you provide, so I'll put that on the outside. And then the basic multi-provider on the inside. Okay, And I do want medium poles for that. So that all works. I do want a single lamp just to keep things nicely lit up. I put it right there. And then this is a nice and clean version of the Station 2 Basic, which is the building block for all life on Earth. Or sorry, that's, you know, the mitochondria, powerhouse of the cell. And for some reason that gets it really out of whack aligned. So we gotta shift it over again. I'm still so mad I forgot about shift arrow key when we were setting this up the first time. I forget who it was that reminded me. I think it was in YouTube comments or something, but I was just like, are you kidding? How did I forget about that? I was so excited about that feature when we played Space Age, and then I forgot it existed. And it is the best feature because it just helps you line these things up so easy. Instead of constantly opening the blueprint, changing the numbers, like, it's so nice. All right, I think that's it, actually. So we're good with that. Work is getting done here. I need to remove these from my hotbar. And I think we're good. And look at that, we got 30 big pulls already. Waiting on more tinned cable, because we're waiting on more tin, because I need a little bit more tin. Let's do 22. Cool. Coolio. I don't need an upgrade planner. I don't know what that's doing here. Sweet. Okay, where are we going in life? Like, what's next? Niobium was the big thing, right? We've been working on that for like 10 episodes. Really, and the train base. And now it kind of feels like we're... Oh yeah, Bob's inserters got updated, by the way. So now there's like, the research has changed and it broke things, but then they got fixed again. But the important thing, oh, nope, just kidding. It's locked behind Pi2 science. Being able to do diagonal inserters is locked behind Pi2 science. And I like to say I won't use that very much, but I will. The main thing I use it for, which again doesn't feel that cheaty to me, I know for some people it is, but it's when you have two assemblers next to each other and you want to put an item from this one into this one. It's just really nice to be able to pick up diagonally from that one and put it into that one. Because in my mind, like, they're part of the same assembly structure. You know, in real life, they would just be in the same building and robots would be passing items from one situation to the next. So for me, I don't know. It totally works for me. Maybe that's just how I've justified my sins, but that's how I think about it. Anyway, where are we going? Like, we need Pi2 science. So we need Pi Science Pack 2, which needs glassware, mechanical parts, Sarcoris, and then a lot of moss, like kind of an absurd amount of moss. Arcads, flavonoids, need Yadols. Yadols need Awoge, spores, and Yadols spores. Yeah, Yadols spores you can just collect once you've researched that. But then... Okay, so we're gonna need spore collectors. Okay. Okay, Yadols we're actually kind of already capable of setting up. So that's good to know. Arcads, though. Arcads are a thing. Arcads are a thing. So maybe I should start researching towards Arcads. How far are those? Arcad stage 1. We still got a few researches to get through first. Ulrich's included. Maybe Maybe instead the next goal is to increase production of stuff on the train network. Start putting more stuff on the train network. Start improving metals. Maybe it's iron and steel too. There's a lot of options for where we go next with this stuff. Stuff like putting moss on the train network. I mean, we could have a to-do list that goes past the screen if we just started putting, you know, item X on the train network, item Y on the train network, item Z on the train network. It's just a never-ending list. So I'm not going to put all those on the list right now, but suffice to say we're going to need a lot of things on the train network. Because eventually all of this is going to go on the network. All of this. You know, moving glass over to the metals area is probably what we want to do at some point. But yeah, we're going to have a seaweed farm, a wood farm, and a moss farm. Those feel pretty apparent. And then sap. Those all feel pretty easy to set up. And those probably will go in the same block even. That feels reasonable. Because they're kind of the something from nothings of the world. Moondrops are kind of also somethings from nothings. They also just need water for now. I mean, obviously, when we start using more advanced recipes, they all start requiring additional inputs. But for now, that seems reasonable enough. Rubber will need to be on the train network. You know, do I have rubber too yet? I forget. Yeah, we researched it. Oh. Well, slap me sideways and call me a something. I can just get more rubber for free. It's literally the same recipe. It halves the carbon black and polybutadiene cost. The latex cost is half. Wait, sorry, I'm saying this wrong. It halves the latex, it quarters the carbon black and polybutadiene, and then it looks like it needs 50 organic solvent, because that's the number you're staring at when you look at this, but it's really only 12.5 organic solvent per rubber. So you're basically saying 12.5 organic solvent then replaces 1.5 carbon black, 37.5 polybutadiene, and 0.5 latex. And when you think about it that way, it sounds very nice. And all I need to do is bring organic solvent up to there, which it's not even that far away, if I'm remembering correctly. And then we'll probably call it an episode there. Maybe last thing we'll do before we call it an episode is at least figure out kind of what's our next big goal, because we need something to work towards. And there's always more to do in Pi, but like you also need a little bit of direction. You can't just be like, well, we'll do something. I need to know what that something is. Alright. So then we've got this guy coming up. This. And then, yeah, there we go. Come over here. That should do it. There comes way more rubber. And that'll save on formic acid and anthracene. Not that we were short on that, but it's all great stuff. Okay, now organic solvent, by the way, is not making a ton because naphthalene, we're just not making as much naphthalene, I guess. I don't think we had alternative ways to make this yet, other than the bone meal one, which is really kind of bad. So for now, we'll just hope it's enough organic solvent. This does have 50k in it, so we seem okay. Once that's full, it'll start backing up more. In fact, what we can just do is look at Organic solvent usage versus... Oh, our production was off for a really long time. That's disturbing. Why was that? I'm concerned about that. But yeah, you can see the consumption's pretty low, even when Niobium is running. Anyway, why did this stop running entirely? That is concerning to me. Is it because we weren't using any coke? Might have been, but this is specific. This exists to delete coke. So we should always be using some. So we shouldn't have had zero production of organic solvent. Oh, it's because we ran out of creosote. That's what I bet it was. Remember, when our creosote gets low, I bet the organic solvent is matched with some sort of... Yeah, right here. You can see it looks like right when organic solvent stopped, there was a spike in creosote production. So we might have been running low on creosote. And yeah, you can see there was a dip in creosote production right when this organic solvent started back up again. So yeah, that's because of this setting over here, which will send the naphthalene in different directions based on how much creosote we have built up. Makes sense. Okay, well, we'll call it an episode here. Nope. Sorry, we need a plan. We need a plan. What's the plan? We've done so many good things. I don't want to deal with slaughterhouse junk right now, but we're gonna need to do that soon. That is going to be a problem. Gosh, all the copper, or all the iron got eaten up by the iron niobium alloy. What is the plan? I think arcads are one of the plans. I guess setting it up in Hellmod is maybe the next plan. Wait, there's two recipes. Oh, it's a turd recipe one. Okay, wait, we don't know what that is yet, so I'm not worried about that. So yeah, I guess setting this up is step one. And I think, so if we look, you know, the costs just keep increasing, right? So in the pyscience 2 world, where does it start? I'll work our way backwards here. There. Okay, so if we look at early Pi 2 researches, you can see that the first ones all cost 650 groupings. And it goes 1, 2, 3, 6, not 1, 2, 3, 4, I might note. So we're gonna need to buff up the production of all my other sciences too. I'll probably do this one first and then buff those up. But my point is 650 per research is quite a lot. So if we're making 0.1, if we're making 6 a minute, we're talking 100 minutes per research. And that's just at the beginning of the Pi 2 world. You know, towards the end of the Pi 2 world, we're spending double that. I don't know exactly how much. But yeah, I mean, 3,000, 2,250, 2,500. Like, there's a lot of 2,000 costs in here, and I don't think we can handle 300 minutes. you know, 5 hours per research. That's a little bit too slow. So I'm thinking not 2 per second, 0.2 per second is maybe what we need. So that'll be a solid 12 per minute. And that gets 12 per minute. I don't know why math is hard. 720 an hour. That feels a bit better, especially because at some point we can start getting speed and productivity involved. I think that might not be till Blue Science or the end of Pi2 Science or something, but anyway, that feels like a reasonable kind of goal for this. And we'll break down all the different pieces in probably the next episode, because we don't have time for all this. But yeah, I think that's kind of our next goal, is just to see what do we need for Pi2, and then we'll break that down into smaller goals, of course. But I think the Zen Garden approach spends most of its time zoomed in. You're just focused on, you know, I'm just getting something done. I'm just cleaning this thing up. I'm just doing that thing. Like, you're not too worried about the big picture. But once in a while, I think it's helpful to zoom out to the big picture, so that you kind of have a framework in the back of your head. It's not what you're worried about all the time, but we do need to understand. Because I don't even know some of this stuff. I've actually never done some of this stuff. We're into new territory at this point, because the last time I played this far into the game was before alternative energy, and before a ton of rebalancings, and before a ton of changes. And then by the time I get to where, I'm trying to remember where I got to in my Pi Season 1. That was the farthest I've gotten. I think I got to right around red circuits. So once I get to red circuits in this playthrough, it'll be all new. Like, I've never gotten past red circuits. I did get past red circuits in a very old Pi playthrough that was before I was a content creator. I got a little bit past red circuits in a version of Pi that was before alien life, even. So it was before alien life, it was before alternative energy, so it was a very different pyanodons. Anyway, we're gonna call it an episode here, except we need wood for this guy. We're gonna call it an episode here. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next one.